Let's go on to your own Lions experience, Gavin, and what would you pick out as the highlight? Captaining the Lions in New Zealand or winning in
I think it's a good question. Obviously, I was lucky enough to play a part in winning in Australia in '89, with the first time that the Lions went down solely to Australia. And a lot of the guys had never toured with the Lions before. Only 3 or 4 of the guys had been on a Lions tour. And we were like these new kids in the block, and it was just such an adventure. And 1 or 2 of you might have seen some adverts now recreating the journey in the ship from the first Lions tour 125 years ago. And every 4 years you get this adventure with the Lions and the huge media attention. And we had nothing like that in those days, and we trained for a couple of hours. And nowadays they bring in these team building companies to teach the guys how to get on. We had a very unusual experiment. It was called going to the pub. And we did that for the week before we left the UK. And, you know, that's what rugby players do. We enjoy each other's company, and you lock us in a room with a few beers and we'll get on well and we'll come out stronger. And that's what it's all about. There's a saying that they who party and drink together play well together. And the essence of the Lions is a wee bit like that. And so '89 was this adventure. We went down in zoo class and economy class all the way down to Australia, and we came back business class. First time I'd ever flown business class. It was fantastic. Free drink for a Scotsman. I mean, it doesn't get much better than that, right? And then 4 years later, we're down there in New Zealand, and for me, it's like going, I'm sure, with England cricket down for an Ashes series in Australia. It is the ultimate for me. Touring with the Lions down to New Zealand is the ultimate, and that's where you really test yourself. And there's, you know, and you're playing a game in the Tuesday afternoon in the middle of winter down in Invercargill, and you're basically getting the shit kicked out of you. That's when you need men to front up, right? And that's when you know who's going to stand there and not take a backward step. And it's where you bond and you get this togetherness. And every 4 years, the team has this challenge. And when you're successful and you can look the opposition in the eye and we say, we've had you and we've beaten you, then it's a very powerful thing. And to be able to share that with people that have become your mates over the previous few weeks and you know, I dare say months at the end of the tour, it's fantastic. And you know, I'm sure Beefy would say the same, that playing in a team sport and being successful in a team sport is fantastic. And having said that, I would swap all of that to win Wimbledon, I have to be honest.